Hey everyone, it's Natasha, and in today's video I'm going to show you Storytime Treasures from Memoria Press. This is part of their first grade curriculum program. So we have here the teacher's guide and the student guide, so I'll give you a little run through and tell you all about it. So we'll start with the teacher's guide. This is the Memoria Press first grade program uses real books. So in kindergarten, they use books that are written by Memoria Press. It's the First Start Reading program, which I have a review on. In first grade, they start with the year with the First Start Reading book E, and then they jump into Storytime Treasures. And so we actually use a couple different books here. We use Little Bear, Frog and Toad Are Friends, Caps for Sale, Make Way for Ducklings, and then optional Christmas lessons of Winter on the Farm and Christmas in the Big Woods. So like I said, they kind of complete their phonics program at the beginning of the first grade year, and then they dive into reading real children's literature. And it actually talks about here in the introduction, reading from phonics to non-phonetic readers and how that goes. And then we have our model lesson plan, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. So day 1 is pre-reading, common words, new words, pre-reading word study, phonics flashcards, and read the assigned pages in literature. It's the first half of each week's reading. Then day 2, you're going to do common words, new words, phonics flashcards, the second half of the week's reading, and the vocabulary and questions. And then day 3, you're going to do the word study with classical phonics, reread pages assigned on day 1, and then student guide, finish lesson pages. Day 4, you're going to do the word study with classical phonics and reread pages assigned on day 2. And day 5 is reading and phonics review as necessary. So I will say a couple things with that. Number 1, obviously you can see right off the bat, very easy to make this into a 4-day week program. Number 2, Memoria Press actually does provide lesson plans that are like, I want to say $3 that you can download for the first grade reading, and it will give you the lesson plans for the whole year. That being said, I have also found that you can easily condense this program. So if you need to make it shorter, you can definitely condense it down into 2 days, really. So it just kind of depends on what you need and the kind of reader your child is and that sort of thing. So totally up to you how you do it, but it does give you the model lesson plan. And then it gives you notes for reading lesson plans. So talks about pre-reading activities, preparing to read, syllabication, reading, the post-reading activities, comprehension questions, and other activities. Talks about how to use this guide. And then it gets into the actual workbook that is like the student workbook. So we have day 1. So these boxes down here are what the student book workbook looks like. And then up here is the information for you, the teacher. So you see we have common words, and it has like numbers next to it. Those are the flashcards. So Memoria Press has flashcards, phonics flashcards, and you use them all the way through 2nd grade, kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade. So if you are a new user to Memoria Press, you would need to buy those. And then the phonics flashcards they're all in the same set. So these common words and phonics flashcards are all part of the phonics flashcard set from Memoria Press, if that makes sense. And so then it just basically shows day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. But again, if you need to condense this into 4 days or 3 days or 2 days, it is really quite easy to do, in my opinion. So here's example of what the student pages look like. And then we go into lesson 2. So you can see at the top, it tells you what pages of the book Little Bear that they're reading this week. Now, what I have liked about Storytime Treasures and more Storytime Treasures and the Simply Classical version of it, which I do have a video on the Simply Classical More Storytime Treasures on my channel that I will try to remember to link, but you could just go to my Memoria Plus Simply Classical playlist and you'll find it there too. But the Simply Classical version is basically, it's kind of like less writing. Sorry, I'm saying a lot, but that's the main difference, I would say, is that it's less writing. So if you have a kid who maybe struggles with writing, you might want to consider the Simply Classical version of Storytime Treasures and More Storytime Treasures. Although I think the order of the books might be different too. I don't remember. But nevertheless, you can go check out my review on the Simply Classical version, and so you can kind of compare and see which one that you think would be better for your child and their level. In my opinion, the Simply Classical version you can definitely use at the end of kindergarten. And depending on your child, you may be able to use this in kindergarten too, but it talks about, setting, characters. When I was back here, I was talking about, compound words and all these different skills. So as I'm going through and kind of talking, you can pause the video and see each page, but, so it's not just phonics, it is those literature skills as well that are coming into play. Writing complete sentences. Here, as you can see, they're doing abbreviations. So I do find the regular version is more suited definitely for first grade, but the Simply Classical version, it would be kind of more suited for kindergarten, but it really is designed for students with special needs. But I have found that students without special needs have also been able to use the Simply Classical version just fine. So it really just kind of depends on your kiddos. Well, here we've got the optional Christmas lessons. And there you have it. So the student guide is essentially what you just saw. And we've got the student pages. Obviously, these are in black and white. So you could have your child color if they would like to. Like it says here, color the pictures. But, some kids don't like to color. So I do find that it's kind of nice that it is bound at the top, because then whether your child is left-handed or right-handed, this works for them. But that is, I'll quickly just show you the rest, kind of flip through a little bit. Whoop. But it's all the same. So I hope that helps you. If you have any questions, let me know. And like I said, check out that Simply Classical version. And I hope you have a fabulous day.